Chapter 1. Tell me who I am. In the darkness, something was happening at last. A voice had begun to sing, by C.S. Lewis, the magician's nephew. Then God said, "Let us make human beings in our image, after our likeness." From Genesis 1:26. I still remember the smell of the middle school cafeteria in 1989. It was a combination of floor cleaner, floor wax, and whatever the lunch ladies were preparing on that particular day. As I stood in line, I scanned the crowd of kids, urgently looking for a friend to sit with. After getting my milk, hot dog, and cookie, I faced the mob of 12 and 13-year-olds. I stared at the tables while trying to avoid my eyes of my classmates staring back at me. Were they talking about me? Did I look like a total loser standing there with no friends and no place to sit? Could they see all the stuff in my heart that I tried so hard to hide? I looked around in desperation. Dang it, none of my friends were at lunch. With all the awkwardness of a skinny braces wearing insecure 13-year-old girl, I plopped myself down at the end of a table with people I didn't want to talk to. If I pretended they did not exist, maybe they wouldn't talk to me either. I just wanted a place where I could be myself and not have to worry if people liked me. I didn't like who I was at that age. I didn't like what I looked like or how I felt so out of place and uncomfortable in my own skin. Sometimes just being me felt like an utter humiliation, and sometimes it still does. When would I get it together once and for all? Now that I'm a grown woman, looking back on that experience, I see that I was simply looking for a place to call home. I realize now that the world can be a difficult place where we feel we have to wear masks, put on a good show, and take care to hide our weaknesses. Even if we excel at sports, achieve at school, or have a million online friends, sometimes we feel overwhelmingly alone and we wonder if anyone really ever sees us. Will we ever find someone who understands our hearts and just loves us as we are? Will we ever be truly happy? It is as if our whole lives are a quest to find a place where we belong and a happiness in which we can rest. We go to great lengths to pursue happiness by fitting in with other people. We take up common sports, interests, and fashions. We buy the same things other people have. As we get older, we can easily put on the masks of the proper university degree, bank account balance, or politically correct service project. And yet, our desire to fit in, belong, and be happy isn't the problem. God made us for communion and relationship, and God is ultimate happiness. Our struggle is that we spend a large portion of our lives seeking belonging and happiness in unfulfilling and often destructive ways. Even by the end of my middle school years, I sold out my friends by gossiping about them or leading them into dangerous situations like sneaking out at night or partying because I wanted to fit in and be liked by other people. Betraying my friends or breaking the rules my parents set up for me never brought me lasting happiness, though. It only brought me sorrow and trouble. So, what is this desire for belonging and happiness that keeps rising up in our hearts? I find politics, and pop culture to be fascinating. And I can often be found listening to talk shows or the radio while out for a walk or a drive. Some time ago, I was watching a talk show debate on a news channel, and one of the guests said something I will never forget. He was talking about how American citizens are very ignorant of the foundations of our country and are therefore ignorant of what it really means to be American. The guest said, if we don't know where we came from and where we are going, we will be easily manipulated. This profound remark can easily be applied to the spiritual life. If we are honest with ourselves, we can see that something is amiss within our hearts and in society at large. We don't seem to know where we came from and we have no idea where we are going. We are very confused amidst all the voices of the world that tell us that happiness lies in acquiring possessions, wealth, popularity, and these same voices often try to push God out of the picture. They say that God sucks the fun out of everything and that true freedom exists in doing whatever we want, however we want. Yet, something doesn't add up. Today's American society is vastly more affluent than the rest of the world. Untold pleasures are within reach of all of our fingertips. So why is suicide one of the leading causes of death for people ages 15 to 54? Why do people seem to be more violent, restless, and addicted than ever? No matter how much stuff or status we acquire, it never seems to satisfy the deepest yearnings of our hearts. We long for more than material possessions and passing sexual encounters that leave the heart broken and empty. Isn't there more to life than this? There is. And we can find the answer we are looking for in the life of Jesus Christ. Have you ever wondered why Jesus wasn't confused about who he was? He didn't freak out in the lunch line over his lack of friends or use people for his own pleasure. How was he so comfortable with himself that he could joyfully endure ridicule, misunderstandings, sufferings, and ultimately crucifixion? Why didn't he bend to conform to the opinions of other people, as we often do, or feel sorry for himself when things didn't go his way? The Gospels reveal that Jesus touched and healed lepers, um, Matthew 8 3, ate with unsavory sinners, Matthew 9:10, and encountered bitter opposition from the powerful people of his time, Matthew 12:14. Why was Jesus so free to love and speak the truth? Because he knew who he was. Breathe that in for 1 second. He knew who he was. Jesus lived his entire life from his true identity.